Sup, mother effers.
Yo!
It's the Ego Review again, and it's the one we've all been waiting for. The continuation of the Chzo Mythos, Trilby's Notes.
Fantastic. This is already pretty dynamic. Where'd you steal this music from?
Yeah, say goodbye to stealing music, my friends. This is an original soundtrack by my good friend Mark Lovegrove. This was my first game I made with an original soundtrack. We will never be hearing stolen music again as we go through my games.
Finally.
Now that above...
Well, good on Mark, because that's some solid, there's a floppy disk, a hat, some music.
You ain't heard nothing yet.
Rad.
This is actually a photograph, the upper wallpaper. I took my old hat, took the badge off it, gathered a load of papers on a desk, and took a photo of it. And then I added that little symbol with Photoshop. So let's get started. Tutorial? No, we're hardcore.
Fuck yeah.
Commentary? Yes, but not this one. So yes, our hero Trilby from 5 Days a Stranger returns to the story. He is now a reformed thief turned paranormal detective in the employ of the government.
What's STP stand for, just in case?
You'll find out.
Okay, I thought it was something I was already meant to know.
So this is the end of 5 days.
This is where we retcon some of that.
Yeah, he seemed very smug and unflapped at the end of 5 days. But now he's all haunted.
He was just acting tough. Like, that's just, That's...
Yeah. So here's what happened to everyone else. Jim was expelled for truancy, because no one believed him.
Truant, they'll all cry.
Simone Taylor took to drink.
Fair enough.
And Trilby tried to get back to cat burgling, but it just wasn't the same ever again.
I'd probably think every house was going to trap me again.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what Trilby felt.
If I creep in this window, is it going to shut into another horror dimension full of, retarded machete killers?
Well, once you'd been exposed to the supernatural, you would start expecting anything, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Changes you, man.
So, yes, he became so paranoid about the supernatural that he lost his touch and the police caught him.
He just kicked a door down and went, "All right, I'm taking your shit!" And they tackled him. It was the end of the cat-buggling career.
There you go. The Special Talent Project. Which was a government...
the League of Extraordinarily Talented Gentlemen.
The League of Extraordinary Talented Gentlemen invented by Yahtzee.
Copyright.
So, yes. The government enlisted Trilby as an agent.
Yeah. Kind of like how in Catch Me If You Can, he ends up working for the government.
Well, that was real life, wasn't it? Frank Abagnale. So at this point, we're not actually a paranormal detective. We're just a sort of detective. We've moved on from the paranormal and just working as an agent for the government. At this stage in the narrative. And blah-de-blah-de-blah. Trilby's a wordy sod now that he's narrating the whole game with his notes.
What would you do differently? Because I think all of the games you've done so far. Oh, hey, look at that, looking good.
Of course you don't. So now
I understand the word Gabe, though.
Now we move around with keyboard just like a Sierra SCI game.
Was there a
icon at the top left means that input is now available.
Okay, so why did you jump to keyboard input?
Because I just felt like it. I wanted to make a text parser game. Because the thing about a text parser game is that you can't brute force puzzles by just using all your inventory on everything.
So that was what I wasn't, being snide. I was legitimately curious. There you go. Can't brute force puzzles. Interesting.
Yeah. And this is better for a more sort of investigative style of game, I suppose. We'll see that later when we get to the conversations, which I think is where the system fell flat a bit for some people, but I think they just weren't playing it right.
You just don't get it. You just don't understand art.
Okay, that's not
Stupids.
Simone. We're come to see Simone because we're concerned about her well-being after she took to the bottle and disappeared from our television screens.
It's a shame she didn't take to the bottle and stay on TV. That's always fun to watch.
Oh, there's no reply.
Kick door.
Kick door?
Okay. Pick lock.
Hang on, I think I have to knock door again. Yes.
Okay.
Now Trilby is reassured that it's time to go back to the old instincts.
And take the man out of the cat burglary, but you can't take the cat burglary out of the man.
He's worried she might be in trouble, and even if she isn't, he's only playing to his reputation to like just be sitting in someone's house when they walk in.
I've been waiting for you. Jesus, shit. I can do that.
Yeah, it's the old Batman trick. And then they turn around to look at something, and then when they turn back around and you're gone.
Runs away and hides. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
You just move around the room and touch the darkness to find things.
This reminds me a little bit of the Hitchhiker's Guide adventure game when it just plonks you in that area where it won't tell you what's going on and you have to taste the liquid in front of you.
No, I think you have to smell, right? You have to smell the thing in front of you?
No, it's liquid because it's wine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have to taste liquid. It's champagne. You're at a party. And then the game decides to tell you where you are and what's going on.
Oh, we found a window blind.
Ah. Fantastic. Oh, that's that visibility. Up.
Oh. I made this intro for my original idea for 7 Days of Skeptics set in the office building. But
that looks really good. Like, this little scene, I think.
Yeah, this scene was always good. That's why I reused it. But the rest of that game was shite. So I abandoned it.
Ah.
The original 7 Days of Skeptic that wasn't in space.
Oh, yeah. I love how you went straight to Jason X, like, for your second one.
Well,
fuck it, straight to space.
That's the beauty of auteur game development, I suppose.
Yeah. I like auteur, just stuff in general. Just strap yourself in and enjoy somebody else's insane ride.
So Simone's been murdered. And the Ministry of Occultism, or MOO, have confirmed supernatural activity about the apartment.
I work for the Department of MOO.
And we've been assigned to investigate if there is a connection to the DeFoe Manor incident, which is how the 5 Days is now known in the files. And now Trilby's shit scared.
He's so sad.
So looters stole the wooden idol. The wooden idol was not destroyed in the fire. Stupid
Fire
Trilby.
can't burn wood, you fucking moron. No,
I guess it was very, very varnished wood.
Yeah.
Or it fell under a tureen or something.
Had its own little magical force field.
But weirdly, there's been no strange paranormal events connected to the idol so far.
So no machete killings?
Apparently not. And the idol is now in the possession of one Professor Abed Shahal, whose name consists of the names of the first name and the Christian name of two Asian men I knew back in England. Asian meaning Indian and Pakistani.
Subcontinent, yes.
In England. That's what Asian usually means. So. Okay. So Professor Shahal is having an antiques show at a hotel in Wales. An island off the coast of Wales.
That a real place?
Well, Anglesey is a real place, but Clanbronwyn Island isn't. It's off the coast of Anglesey. These Clanbronwyn Hotel is in the island centre, surrounded by forest. This won't end poorly.
Miles away from everything. It'll be fine.
And now Trilby's getting his tell don't show on. It's another ministry agent. Well, technically, Trilby works for the Special Talent Project and is currently being seconded to the Ministry of Occultism.
Okay, so is a Special Talent Project like a sort of talent recruiter?
Yeah.
Okay, and then they work out whether or not they're going to put you in Muscle Force Gamma or the Ministry of Occultism.
Yeah, the different divisions of the British government basically take you on loan when they need something done that suits your particular talents. It's a sort of like government-sponsored mercenary force, I suppose.
They're the good ones. Muscle Force Gamma.
Like the Avengers.
The British Avengers, for people who...
Yes, another member of the Special Talent Project in my internal canon was Chris Quinn from Age of Evil, who was a demon hunter.
Oh, that's right.
Who was also seconded to the Ministry of Occultism a lot.
There you go, people. Take notes. This is the Yahtzee-verse canon getting fleshed out.
So Lenkman here has apparently been
Peter Lenkman?
Yes.
Sure.
He's been sent to make sure that we're mentally sound because of our history with the DeFoe Wraith. He's like, everyone just feels safer with more boots on the ground.
Well, that actually makes sense.
Yeah, see, it's all making sense so far. And now here's Trilby's genius intellect in action. He's disguising himself by not changing his clothes and going by Terence Railby.
Beats James Bond.
Yeah.
Like, hello, I'm a spy. Give me a drink.
Hello.
Oi, love, give us a kiss.
Here's my full name. I'll say my surname twice so you hear it properly.
It's a big I'm a spy shirt.
And now we've met Professor Chahal, who's wearing a cardigan.
The traditional plumage of the university history professor.
Now Trilby's getting his confidence trickster on. He's exploiting the Mark's absent-mindedness to pretend to be a previous acquaintance.
I'm really glad you pointed that out with that piece of writing there, Yahtzee.
Yes.
That's just... You didn't have much faith in your audience, did you?
I guess I just wanted to write a lot of stuff. Because that's my strength. I write shit.
I just literally recapped the thing that people just watched.
Well, I thought it might be confusing that Trilby's like telling a whole bunch of lies to Chahal at this point, so I wanted the audience to make... Because the audience hasn't seen Trilby in a while, they don't know he's telling lies.
It could all be part of the mysterious Yahtzeeverse canon.
So we're offering him money for artifacts. We're pretending to be a freelance scout for antique collectors.
Do you have any haunted wooden idols?
Just out of interest.
You know, I happened to work for a man who's very interested in haunted wooden idols.
That room wasn't straight through that door. There was a bit of a jump cut.
Oh, okay.
We've gone up some stairs and into his hotel room.
Siobhan. Is that how you pronounce that?
Siobhan. And in retrospect, in a texty typey game, I probably could have picked a female name that's easier to spell. Siobhan is a traditional Irish name.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Fucking Gaelic.
So, yeah, apparently Chahal gets a lot of interest in DeFoe Manor artifacts because it's a big mystery. It was big news.
Yeah,
in the paranormal rumour-mongering circles. Trilby's going to stare at a wall for a bit.
Of which history professors frequent.
Yep, showing, not telling again. Or telling, not showing again.
Here is this woman's character.
In retrospect, I could probably excise like half the narration boxes in this game. But then it wouldn't be Trilby's notes.
Big majority of them could probably go.
Siobhan is immediately intrigued by our weird dress sense. She's like the pseudo-love interest of the game. She's the new Simone, and not dead. Bit fresher for our tastes. She has a very Irish name.
She's just so interested in your hat. It just makes you interesting, that hat. People should wear more Trilbys. It definitely makes them look interesting.
No, it doesn't. It makes them look like knobs. So here's the conversation system. And
so
usually in conversations in adventure games, you go down a list of replies.
Yes.
I wanted to embrace the more investigative element. So now you just have to, like...
Enquire?
Figure out what the topics that you can talk about are.
Okay.
So, for example, ask Siobhan about herself. I made a whole text parser for this game. Tried to come up with as many different...
So, like, I could say, ask about Warwick University now, because she's given me that piece of information.
I don't think that, because inwardly we don't give a fucking toss about her fucking university. We've got
Can't
dangerous...
put my penis in your college degree.
Well, I'll try. Ask Siobhan...
Well, you said that you've got this thing that's supposed to... Okay.
Whoops. There's a gap we didn't fill in. Siobhan about Abed. Ooh. Oh, yeah.
Yahtzee, foiled by himself.
It's been a while.
Damn you, prior Yahtzee.
Yeah. Abed's a friendly sort. Doing a lecture tour, selling antiques. This is why he's in a shitty Welsh hotel. Excuse me. Hotel? There, that was a thing. I've forgotten most of the things you can ask. I'm just guessing at this point. I know what you have to type to continue the story.
Goody.
But we're in for the long haul. Might as well enjoy ourselves.
Ask about the fair? Long haul!
Alright, let's cut to the chase.
Okay, oh shit, alright. So you actually do remember the things that make the story go?
Yeah.
Is there any way to get, like, a list? Like, because that's the thing. Like, I thought if you asked...
Yeah, in retrospect, it would have been good to, like, call up a list or something.
Well, it's
of
just...
things you can talk about.
Siobhan said something about, like, universities. So I thought within their responses there'd be clues to further questions.
Well, that's how, like, I think some of the Ultimate games did that. They'd highlight words in NPC dialogue, so you'd know to ask about those specific words.
Well, I don't think you need to highlight it, but I just figured that would be how I'd discover further things to ask about. Because I'm just, at this point, I'm wondering how I'd know to ask about a lot of, like, stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, I suppose the DeFoe Manor is a fairly obvious one, but...
So Trilby's anxiety has been set off by discussing DeFoe Manor. He's getting sickness and stuff.
Oh, I'm going to wee-wee.
Yeah. Blah-de-blah. A lot of
Silly talk.
Silly paranormal
Hand
talk.
wave. Hand wave. I'm a history professor.
Oh.
Don't call it ugly. He hates being called ugly.
So were there any particular items your client is interested in? Big hint, big hint.
So yeah, that I think.
This
telegraphed a bit.
figurine.
That is
Yeah,
what
that-
comes from asking about the figurine. That is some...
He's getting there.
that is like in the... what was that? L.A. Noire, where it's like, I'll gently press this witness.
Yes.
Fuck you, lying slut! Okay.
Yeah, that's what it did. Yeah, apparently it's fairly valueless as an antique, but our client is quite insistent. Our client called Mr. Government.
They collect ugly things. That's why they have all those tenement houses.
Yeah, we're just gonna bullshit our way through this.
Oh, this seems easy. And then you've successfully completed the really clever intro conversation tree, and now you've beat the game.
Yeah, it's all over by the shouting, basically.
Yeah. A friend of mine's been playing this really sort of ridiculous Italian-made, turns out it's Italian, karate fighting game on Steam. And you have to do work to earn money to enter tournaments, but he did all this work, saved up heaps of money, and bought, like, this apartment or this sort of thing so you can have your own dojo, and that ends the game. And at no point did it telegraph that, it didn't say that. So he just did a bunch of this shitty, meaningless crap that you're meant to hate, skipped all the gameplay, and then finished the game.
Oh, Abed recovered a painting, and the painting was hanging in the hotel lobby. Did you notice it?
Nope.
Okay.
Wasn't really looking for it. I was kind of thinking about, like,
Well,
the little note pop-ups explaining things.
yeah, the painting was there.
See, Trilby paid it little heed. I hadn't paid it enough heed. That's...
Are you all right, Mr. Not Trilby? You've gone rather pale.
Cat burglar McPokerface. You can't tell what I'm feeling. Shut up!
With his received pronunciation accent.
That was kind of rad.
Okay. I was hoping for more of a reaction from you. As in, like, "Blah! What is this horror?"
Again, like, we had the conversation about, like, books. Sort of, I have difficulty getting scared by books or games.
Well, even like Fatal Frame. Something that like really goes out of the way to be scary. Or Five Nights at Freddy's.
No, I played a little bit of Five Nights at Freddy's. I was just like, nah.
I hate like anticipating a startle. I mean, I don't mind a startle if it's well executed and I wasn't anticipating it. I'm like, oh, you got me. But when I'm anticipating a startle, I hate that feeling. And that's why I can't stand Five Nights at Freddy's.
Well, that's if
Nah.
the anticipation creates that unpleasantness, that can be interesting in and of itself.
I
but-
don't like it.
I don't want it.
I mean, if you know a jump scare is coming and the jump scare has failed. Okay, now, this is one of the more popular games in the series, or kind of put the series on the map. And the reason for that is I nicked a lot of the ideas from good horror games. For example, Silent Hill. There are 2 hotels. There is the nice hotel, and there's the nasty hotel. Ooh.
The ho-hell.
And there's a body at the bottom of these stairs.
Muscular.
World building. Wearing a weird old-fashioned uniform. Can you hear the weird audio, by the way?
Nope.
Alright, turn the volume down.
Yeah. Turned it way too far.
I'll put it up again a bit.
Oh, that's kind of cool. See, yeah, I think because we've had the conversation about what Silent Hill does quite well as well, which is audio.
Yeah.
I think if I was sitting by myself with like the headphones on in the dark, you can probably give me the willies with that kind of whispering thing going on.
Yeah, we found a diary on the floor. So Black Cat from the Spider-Man comics was hanging out with this guy.
She gets around. She's a cool chick.
And they took shelter in a decrepit hotel in the forest. Presumably this hotel, but... See, the hint here is that these characters, Felicia and this bloke, are not from our world. They're from the world that this hotel is in. It's like an alternative dimension scenario.
Okay. I was thinking maybe back in time, because of his booties.
No.
And tunic. Who wears a tunic?
Someone in a weird fantasy world.
Oh, okay. So we're at the universe next door.
We're in the ethereal realm.
Alright.
This is another aspect of my larger canon.
Felicia keeps talking of a demon she fancies.
Fucking Felicia.
Fancies. Had this conversation,
Friend
Felicia.
zoned.
Yeah. You said that you got this out of your system in college. I don't...
Why'd you always go for the asshole demons who want to rip your face off, Felicia?
They're all rapists. That's not a joke. They're all literally...
It's just so hard to find a nice guy like you. But I'm a nice guy like me.
Can't you tell by my hat?
Yeah, this guy's going mad.
It's going on for a while.
He's going mad, and you can tell because he stopped capitalizing his sentences.
The first sign of lunacy.
But look at the date. July 28th.
Mm-hmm.
This is the arc date. And on this day, he's hallucinating that the hotel has become finely decorated and welcoming, like our hotel. And also, I haven't mentioned it, but the day that this game takes place on is also July 28th.
Ooh.
This is the day when the barrier between the worlds is at its weakest. That's why it's a special day.
Special day!
So, part of this game's remit is to sort of introduce a larger universe outside of John DeFoe and stuff. So, this is like retconning the events of the first 2 games as being part of a larger scheme, on the part of a far more dangerous entity.
That just wanted to go into space.
Well, it didn't want to go into space, it just wanted to go into the realm of technology and murder everything, as ancient gods tend to do.
I bet ancient gods don't like technology. It's like fucking kids these days.
Now, take note of those words, it hurts. Those will be coming up a lot throughout the rest of the series. They're the new arc. That's the new arc phrase. Mm-hmm. It's relevant to the identity of the big bad.
Some kind of pain demon?
Yes, basically, it's a pain demon, a pain elemental. There were pain elementals in Doom, remember them?
Yeah, this is like the balls?
Yeah, they spat out lost souls. But this is a far different kind of pain elemental.
There was a plush pain elemental in the dog's bed in the Wolfenstein Old Blood.
Sure it wasn't a plush cacodemon? Because there were plush cacodemons. I think they put one in Wolfenstein as a reference.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, which ones were the pain elementals?
Pain elementals were the brown blobs. The
cacodemons
were the
red and
ones.
blue. Right. Okay. That's right. I forgot they reused those.
Oh no, we're in Claboni Hell.
Otherwise known as Wales.
I'm gonna scarp her.
This doesn't seem fun.
I'm just gonna get the fuck out. Fuck this mystery.
Yeah. Fuck mysteries in general.
I'm gonna go to this other building next door. I wonder what it is.
I'm gonna go on the welfare.
Oh, it's the same building.
Hey, you tricked me.
Mike Lovegrove made us a nice, like, sort of ambient sort of music thing that just plays a lot of weird, discordant, distant tones and weird sounds.
You look at the body.
Yep, someone was flayed. Ramsay Bolton's been through here.
I love everyone else's like sigils and shit. Like ours is a rose, ours is a lion, ours is a dragon, ours is a skinned dude.
Sort of brings to mind that Mitchell and Webb sketch, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think you guys are bad guys.
Are we the baddies?
Video games are to blame.
Of course they are.
There it is. Mystery solved.
It's damaged, but the screen is active and flashing blankly regardless. Now take a look at that picture on the left.
Of Dracula?
No, it looks like Slender Man. That's the character I made up before Slender Man, that Slender Man was probably a rip-off of. Fucking rip-offing off internet memes.
You thieves. And then some girls killed somebody for it.
Yeah, so that was my fault, basically.
I solved the mystery.
Lying on the bar in a pool of gore. Well, I think it'd be quicker to list the things that aren't lying in a pool of gore in this game.
Yeah, there's a lot of gore. So what's that slendery dude with the really awesome collar?
Well, we'll find out.
Oh, so he's in this.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the pain elemental.
Well...
Or maybe his name is Mr. Jesus.
Well, perhaps it's not as simple as you think.
There's twists in this plot I didn't expect.
There was a plate of rancid meat, adding evil stench to the air.
Yeah, all the corpses probably aren't helping either.
I'm just going to take some meat.
Okay.
Like, because I don't give no shits.
Wait, so what did he say after? He can hit something carnivorous, or he can feed something carnivorous?
Well, that's what he said. He said he's going to take the meat so that he'll have something other than himself to offer.
Okay, so it's a throw and run kind of. It's not you can't hit him with a lump of it.
So there's been corpse nailed around this door, but we picked up some pliers earlier.
Okie dokie.
Well, that's what I'm hoping, Mr.
Okay,
Caldo
now
Joe.
we'll give the guy some sleep. Oh, look at that! You've animated. Oh, all right.
You were saying?
Well, I was going to say you actually animated stuff.
This looks quite a lot like the bathroom from Galaxy of Fantabulous Wonderment, where Whistler passed us in for.
Someone ripped a vicious blood shit.
Or maybe they just had a miscarriage, you insensitive bastard. Luke? Admira? Something most unpleasing. Oh, Mr. Darcy.
I declare.
So there's an envelope here.
Baffled.
And it's a note addressed to us.
Oh.
At present,
I'm sure you'll find this mail hidden behind the corpse door.
Is the alternative hotel part of the ethereal realm or some kind of construct, a pocket dimension? It's part of the ethereal realm. Spoiler warning.
There goes that mystery.
So the reason why were transported here is because we became agitated with all the discussion of Defoe Manor.
This is a big metaphor for anxiety attacks.
And also because it's 28th July when the barrier is at its weakest. That's an important fact that you'll need to remember for the rest of the series.
What, 28th of July?
Yeah, July 28th is the day when the barrier between the realm is weak.
Any specific reason for July 28th?
No, it's just I picked a random date. It was the date that John DeFoe was killed. Actually, in 5 Days a Stranger, it was June 28th, but I got the date wrong in future games. Just assume he died on the correct date.
Fix it in your internal canon, whatever. Shut up.
So now we have some tranquilizers. Probably oxazepam. Warning, some users may experience hallucinations. God knows how those got on the market.
It was a great moment in a great episode in
I'm on tranquilizers at the moment.
Really? What ones?
Doctor prescribed me some oxazepam because I was getting heart pains.
What from?
From all the anxiety from Consuming Shadow coming out soon.
Okay. Yahtzee goes to the other dimension.
Consuming Shadow.
What are you seeing right now? Like when you look around, am I just like a skinned corpse talking to you? Like is this happening? Like is this?
Yeah, and like there's bare floorboards all over the floor, covered in blood and extruding nails.
Yeah.
Now we're back in the nice hotel.
Oh well, this is much more pleasant. Do you still have the meat?
I do indeed.
Ooh, got pan-dimensional meat. Oh, you can.
Yeah,
okay,
I can check
cool.
my inventory with tab.
I had with me. That's gonna bug me every time I see it.
Just make sure everything's cool. Hey!
Stokazola again.
Look what's here. Also some Guinness.
And the arcade machine's out of order. Okay. Is that meant to be there? Things are afoot. Or it's glitched.
I'm okay again now.
See, need to take some more pills.
One of the things this game doesn't tell you, well, it hints it in the description of the pill bottle where it says some users experience hallucinations. Every time you take a pill to return to the normal world, there is a chance a couple of rooms later you'll get an insanity effect.
Oh, okay, cool.
And that's another idea I nicked, because I nicked it from Eternal Darkness.
Oh, Eternal Darkness.
Because that had insanity effects as well.
Yes, it did.
It's not the only thing I nicked from Eternal Darkness.
What else did you nick from Eternal Darkness?
Well, we'll find out.
Ah.
So
Coming up in what Yahtzee stole this time.
So we actually managed to pick a lock to get into this office.
Holy shit burgers.
And look, a safe!
Ah, can I crack the safe?
Let's crack the safe.
Hey!
Yeah, we haven't done that in a while. My nostalgia faded into puzzlement. This is a
valid.
This is a callback to 5 Days a Stranger, the start of that game.
Things should be in safes. What about what's on the table and stuff? Is there anything?
No.
Oh, okay.
Float of like flavor text. Obviously,
that's really nothing.
Obviously, very little work is actually done here.
All right, take a crap in the safe, reseal it.
So this is what we were after. Remember this?
Oh yeah. There's the little.
It's Matthew DeFoe's painting from the living room of DeFoe Manor, where we slept at night.
It's astonishing a painting would survive a fire. I mean, it's a good thing that supernatural things don't happen. Otherwise, it might suggest that.
I felt a bizarre urge to reach out and touch the painting. What should we do then?
Touch painting.
Touch painting? Can do. Yeah, blah de blah de blah de blah.
Clumsy brush strokes.
Now we're feeling all weird all of a sudden. Yeah. The other thing I nicked from Eternal Darkness was playable flashbacks to the past.
Yeah. And pantaloons. Look at them high socks.
Now we're actually in DeFoe Manor around the time of John DeFoe's death. And we're playing as Matthew DeFoe.
Oh.
It's July 28th. I don't know if you picked up on that.
Yeah.
So, for once, our dad actually praised our painting, despite us being a disappointment to him our whole lives.
Do you love me, Daddy?
Now the butler's going to talk to us through the door, because I couldn't be bothered drawing him.
And Matthew's probably told him not to just walk in when the door's shut enough times.
The butler's retiring for the night, just to drive it home that...
Bing, Jesus shit.
There's no hope coming. No help coming. And here's Sir Roderick DeFoe. I actually did quite a bit of research for the historical sections of this game. And looked into the kind of outfits people wore in the early 19th century. That's why they got those weird sort of Pride and Prejudice Mr. Darcy looks going on.
Historical accuracy.
Yeah. So this is 15 years after the birth of Matthew and John DeFoe.
I'm presuming it's just before Retardonaut comes in and murders everybody.
Yes, quite. And Sir Roderick has brought a historian over to examine the wooden idol he brought back from Africa.
And as per historians of the area, he'll go, "It was made by a darky!" And that'll be the end of it.
Oh, there'll be darkies aplenty later in the game.
One of them's called Phil. This is starting to remind me a bit of Gabriel Knight.
Really? It's not Gabriel Knight, it's Trilby! He's a different paranormal detective.
I'm glad you asked.
So Roderick's going to tell us how he got hold of the idol.
We haven't really had this information given to us yet, have we?
No, we just know he brought it back from Africa.
Yeah, alluded to.
But the weird thing is, they found the idol inside a British ship that had ran aground. All the crew had disappeared, like the Mary Celeste. So they ran aground on the coast of Africa, but it might not necessarily have come from Africa. And on the lowest deck of the ship, that's where the figurine was found. See, what this game is establishing, that the evil of DeFoe Manor was not just Tardonaut.
Damn it.
There might have been something already evil there. Because Because the original name of this game, before I decided to name it something a bit more marketable, was Notes on an Evil Artifact.
Yeah.
Which is sort of giving the game away there.
That's the most comically blunt video game title I can think of. Like, action shooter punch. Notes on an evil artifact.
It's not the same as that. I mean, if it was called Point and Click Puzzle Adventure Discovery, that would be a valid comparison. It was called Notes on an Evil Artifact.
It's just very plain.
It doesn't imply that it's an adventure game. And if we look around this room, we can find a machete on the wall, a leather apron on the kitchen table, and a welding mask above the door.
Did they weld back in this era?
I'm hoping they did.
I don't think they did. I don't think complex...
A smoked mask that metal workers use. Hand wave, hand wave.
I suppose, like, maybe, like, for anvils and shit.
I don't know. I'm going to assume they use...
This is not welding. Welding didn't exist back then.
It might have done. When was welding invented? So we're here because we're getting like some brandy for our dad and his guest.
Okay. I think they were still using wooden... It was Victorian, isn't it?
That ominous music creeps in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not banging on the door. He's just yelling that.
Mm.
Yeah, Roderick don't want to know. Don't want to know about his tardy son.
You haven't knocked for me in so long.
Stop it. This is a dramatic scene.
Do you want to see my painting, retarded basement dweller?
You're my only friend, Tardanaut. So now we push painting on the door. So that our brother can look at it. Though we don't know he's our brother. We just know there's a weird presence behind the door.
How dare you, sir?
Well, Sir Roderick's got his narc on. Turns out Sir Roderick had a temper on him. Who'd have thought?
Now he's going to go marry another woman just to strike her.
So there's not much interactivity in these segments, it must be said.
Well, you got to show a retard art. That's kind of nice.
Yeah. Now Sir Roderick's looking kind of bitter.
I'd be bitter too if the top of my head jiggled uncontrollably.
So the only tribe the idol could have come from all died in slavery a long time ago, apparently.
Hit him, get up and punch him.
Yes, Roderick's one of those annoying people who when you say, I'm sorry, because he's had a misfortune, he goes, what are you apologizing for? You didn't do anything.
Oh, I did. I set fire to your bed and let the tard out.
So now Roderick's asking to see our painting all of a sudden. And unfortunately, our painting's with Mongonaut. And Matthew's going to be stupid enough to admit that.
You know, he's the boy who probably has working eyes and a light.
I think this is one of my favourite scenes I've written. It's all in the weird pauses before Sir Roderick goes, I see.
That actually I like. The fact that he didn't just flip out. Just I gave it to the boy behind the door. Oh.
I see.
You can't show him art, then he'll know there's an outside world. He's seen trees, you can't take that back.
He saw sky, for fuck's sake. Trees bad enough.
As far as he knows, the sky is my bedroom floor.
So yes, previously when Matthew brought up the boy behind the door, Roderick would just get angry or instantly deny it. And this time, he just said, I see. And now there's been a smashing noise downstairs.
Ah, smashing.
Smashing! And now the door is slightly ajar. Ominous.
Matthew just... The character of Matthew in my mind is just an awful lot like the Swamp King's son in Holy Grail. Just in my mind, he's just like... just this withering sort of... I don't want to do that. I just want to paint.
I don't want to have a retarded monster brother.
My pet monster.
Yes, some rough stone steps leading down to some kind of basement. What kind of basement?
What other kind of basement?
A murder basement.
Oh, look.
Now, this dialogue evokes the conversation that took place between ghost-possessed Simone and ghost-possessed Jim at the end of 5 days.
Yeah.
This is the dramatic music that plays when dramatic things happen.
When a retard comes along, you must whip it.
There's that guy again.
Ooh, Jesus shit!
Well, we were certainly quite lost in that painting.
My name's Trilby. I mean, oh, yeah, sure.
Yes, she was saying how much she wants to jump your bones.
Just, that's how women work. Confusing creatures.
Yes, now we're going to narrate all the stuff we just saw with our own eyes.
Okay,
I had seen the events that had created John DeFoe. I saw his death at the hands of Sir Roderick, that terrible blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah.
Okay, let's recap that thing you just saw again. For those of you in the cheap seats.
Now we're establishing that there was something, we could detect something wrong about that idol even before it was used to kill John DeFoe. I mean, you saw John DeFoe, he was like a scrawny little weakling when he was killed. Why was he suddenly
tremoring like one of those chihuahuas that just
How did he become a powerhouse in death?
My 6-step workout program that you'll be able to buy at $10 in installment.
So now we mentioned the Sea Angel and the ship that the idol was found on. And lo and behold, Abed just happens to have a chisel from that ship in the Antiques Fair. Which I guess is not so weird, because it was probably another of the Defoe Manor artifacts. It was another souvenir that Sir Roderick took from that ship.
Otherwise it would be gloriously convenient.
Yes. I think there's another gloriously convenient thing that happens later, though. Bye-bye,
Take care of yourself!
What's
that red thing? Oh, there's a thing.
Notice anything different about the painting now?
Yeah, it's leaking.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a piece of paper under the fire.
For me, or literally anybody who was looking at the painting to find.
So there's a bit of a Silent Hill 4 influence here. Talking about, like, you know, the numbered victims.
Just like that awesome movie 13 Ghosts.
So this text is basically recounting the events we just saw in a weird religious texty kind of way. Almost as if there's a larger entity behind all this. Refers to a strange entity called the King. And a bridge between the worlds. And another entity called the Prince.
Who touched the child?
The Prince touched the child. Well, that'll happen.
Yeah.
And
monarchies.
So the child became the bridge keeper, and his 3 aspects were granted power, so that his soul would join with the prince's soul in the wood of the tree.
Dun, 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 dun,
And the bridge keeper, who I guess is John DeFoe, rose up and threw down his father and his brother, and truly did they know the name of the king. That's another phrase to watch out for. To know the name of the king.
What's the red thing? Pick up red thing.
Fuck you!
Come on!
Oops.
Look at Des. Hey, Des.
Des isn't here. Des is being murdered. A matchbox, that's what it was. Couldn't you tell?
No. Just like
right.
Big red button that I wanted to push.
What do we need to do
What's the compelling point? Like, what am I doing here? So I suppose I'm still exploring. I suppose the basic overall mission that's driving us is just finding out what's going on.
Now we have to get through this door to the antique fair to find the Sea Angel chisel. Because that's another artifact from the past, and perhaps we could use it to continue exploring the past. So
what was stopping us from getting in there?
Door's locked by a deadbolt on the other side.
Of course it is. Why would they want you to be able to get in there?
Well, and fair's not open yet. Also, there's no one else here.
I wonder how this hotel makes money.
So,
we got
the door's bolted in this hotel, But perhaps we could find our way through it in the other hotel.
Oh, how do we get there?
We keep changing rooms.
Okay. So is that just a thing that happens in the game generally? Like if you just...
Yeah, just after a certain number of room changes, then that shit happens.
Okay.
You transition back to the other world. So, we got some matches and we got a smoke alarm. Have another little flashback. See the strange tall man. And that opens the fire escape.
Oh. Doesn't set off an alarm or anything.
No, just opens the fire escape. Very expedient evacuation system in this hotel.
There's a fire.
You know what? Maybe someone turned off the alarm because it kept going off while they were trying to cook. That keeps happening in my place. Every time I cook steak, I have to take it off the ceiling and put it on a chair somewhere.
Yeah, it's the very... Oh yeah, you got one of those big built-in ones.
Yeah. So we've got a crowbar. Maybe you didn't notice, but while we were last time we were in the other world, we passed through the dining hall to pick up the meat, and the doors were they were barred. They were barred with wooden planks.
Ah. And what removes wooden plank bar things?
A crowbar.
Fuck yeah.
And beckoning language. But mostly the crowbar, though.
So, if I was playing this and I was like, okay, I want to get back to the other world now, I just got to walk between, like, doorways or some shit.
Yeah, but we will actually acquire an item where you can speed back to the other world. A lot of people didn't pick up on it, though.
Which?
Well, we'll find out
Okay.
in a bit it's in the antique room, so we'll see it there. So, better just wait for a reality shift.
There's nothing that signposts the reality shift. Like it's really just like deedle deedle deedling and then.
Someone was very patiently writing evil words all over the walls.
It feeds.
Well, nothing in here but us corpses.
One on the right's funny looking. That's just puppets. That's not even people sized.
That symbol's gonna get relevant.
Excellent. It looks like a D-pad.
Well, it's not a D-pad.
It is a D-pad. It's a D-pad of doom.
It's a square between 4 triangles enclosed in a circle.
Doom pad.
Now, here's the clever part. Take a pill and then enter the door. So even though it was bolted, we transitioned to the other world as we passed through the door.
Magic.
So now we can come and go from this room as we please. So here's the item I was telling you about. It's a bottle of cola. And it's an energy drink. And that makes the caffeine makes Trilby agitated and transitions him back to the other world. That's its purpose. A lot of people didn't pick up on that, but it was the case.
Can you look at the cola? Like, what happens if you sort of examine it? Will it...
Yeah, it'll tell you. I'm just looking at this chair because it's the chair from the living room in DeFoe Manor that Jim was sitting on during the first house meeting.
House meeting. Okay, we're going to have to talk about the murderer wandering around.
Yeah, Trilby says he usually steers clear of caffeine drinks because they make him agitated. So, yes, we're looking for the special chisel.
Manacles.
Set of manacles, but we don't need to go back to the period they were from.
Yeah.
We already saw that. And there's the chisel the professor mentioned.
So you can't take it?
Of course not. It's an antique. Probably fall apart the moment we try to use it.
No touching.
Oh, but we're getting drawn to it. Touch that chisel, Trilbs.
Beep.
And now we are a black guy adrift in the middle of the sea.
Okay, I thought that was an island.
No. Why would an island be bobbing up and down? You
I
fool.
thought it was waves hitting it.
Oh.
Mbuta.
Mbuta. I'm not sure if that actually means anything. I just knew how African names usually went, and I just made something up from the right sort of vowel sounds. So
It means cow vulva.
So this is more research in action. The coastal African kingdoms during the peak of the slave trade were the people who did most of the enslaving.
Yeah.
and then sold them to white slavers to be taken across the Atlantic.
Arabs as well. There's a lot of North African.
Yeah.
That was always the funniest thing about the slave trade. It's just, who sold us? Kind of us.
Yeah. And, then he got a fever while he was on the slave ship, so they bunged him overboard.
Well, you don't want all your slaves going off before they get where they're going.
No, exactly. It's like, they're like apricots.
Sweet, delicious apricots. You see, the Negro is a lot like a stone fruit. There is a rock on the inside, and my wife can't get enough of them.
So they've been picked up by a nice ship, not a slave ship.
Yeah, it's just plenty of nice non-slave ships doing the transatlantic.
Well, there was opposition to the slave trade at the time.
It's just the idea. What'll we do? I know.
So yeah, this is a ship, presumably like a merchant ship, captained by a very morally hard-line, principled man.
Is he in brackets because he's speaking a different language?
Well, here's the thing. In these flashbacks, we're not technically the character in the flashbacks. We're Trilby playing through their eyes. And Trilby understands what they're saying, but Mbuta doesn't.
Okay.
That's how it works.
Oh, so he's English. But Mbuta doesn't speak English.
They're speaking English, because I'm English, and these nice sailors must logically be English. Those slavers are probably Dutch motherfuckers.
The filthy Dutch.
Fucking Dutch.
Grotesque swamp Germans.
Why couldn't they have been nice like the English? They were nice about slaving people.
I think Belgium was one of the fascinatingly, worst ones. What? Belgium and the Congo. There's a fun history to read.
Still frightened, but somewhat reassured by these obviously nice white people.
White saviors!
So now, yeah, so the original date given was July 25th. It's now 3 days later. Oops.
Uh-oh.
So yes, he's decided he's going to thank his gods by carving an idol.
Let's give this black guy
Look at our chunky shins. What a muscular black man we are.
When you're a slave, every day's leg day. And upper body day.
Mbuta doesn't speak the language, so we have to be non-verbal.
Okay.
Mime... Chisel?
What's that? Why are you masturbating at me? Stop it. Okay.
Yep, telling without showing again.
Well, I think that was necessary because the audience is going to understand what's being said, but Mbuta doesn't.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's a little bit fair.
So this is the jolly boat. God knows why it's in the middle of the ship rather than hanging on the side, but I guess he's doing some maintenance on it there.
He's attaching a new a nameplate to it.
Or he's just trying to look busy for the captain. No, seriously, this nail is giving me some serious trouble. It has to be really in there.
It's really difficult to do.
Mime chisel again. All right there, laddie. You want something to carve with? Here. Yeah, he's not doing any work at all. Just saying, here, have my chisel. I don't care. I'm just going to mime working for the rest of my shift.
I'm going to climb inside a... Oh, God, he actually does. He goes back to doing that exact thing.
Yeah.
Deep.
It's very careful work. I forget what's in these barrels. Oh, yeah. Buddha doesn't want to be impolite. They brought him up properly.
Yeah, and I don't want to open your, mystery white man vessels. God knows what's in this.
Not Kime. Climb down.
O'Malley Shipping.
Huh. Funny that. Do we know anyone else called O'Malley?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Buddha doesn't want to venture into the darkness because of his memories of the slave ship.
That's kind of fair.
So here's some wood, and we've got a chisel. I don't think anyone's using this crate besides O'Malley. I don't see no fucking O'Malley around here. Yeah, let's just chisel this wood about. Yeah, his kingdom's god of fertility and good fortune.
So it's not a god of machete murders.
No, it's a perfectly nice god. Oh well, back to work.
You can't... The fuck? What is he doing?
Making really sure that he's dead.
Okay, so that's not like a broom. Or a mop. It looked like he was mopping with a dude.
And we were hurled forcefully back to the present day. Yeah. You look really forcefully standing there, man. That black-clad ghoul. What was its significance? Why did it appear again and again throughout history?
Pinhead's cousin, Squishhead.
There's no connection to Mbuta's deities. It must have been connected to the wood of that crate
The
somehow.
tall man was not a fertility god. No,
he's kind of... Well, if he is, he's doing it really wrong.
Yeah. This is why we need more sex, proper sex ed amongst fertility gods.
Hey, this is sex, isn't it? Right? What?
I'm doing the intercourse.
Wait, that's the opposite of sex.
Okay, you've put a thing in a person, you've got that bit down.
Right, now I need to find Siobhan.
There's more kind of context to it than that.
But we found another page under this door.
Oh.
So, John DeFoe was victim 5, the child. This is victim 4, the slave. And we seem to be flashbacking progressively backwards through time. Are you intrigued yet?
A little. I think probably, I don't know, for me the game needs a little more of a drive.
Well, we're investigating.
Yeah, it feels a little sort of wandery, especially with the needing to go in and out of rooms to activate the shift.
Well, our incentive is that we seem to be trapped in the hotel. And we're still trying to find out the origins of the idol's evil so that we can defend people from it. Oh. Yeah, all the hotel staff have gone. Probably being murdered.
They're Welsh. They just never showed up for work. They're off having one of their big choruses.
Okay, so in 5 Days a Stranger, the sort of central premise was we're like an unknown quantity who comes into a group of... gets trapped in a house with a bunch of strangers who are all like suspicious of each other. And eventually they have to succeed by working together.
Teamwork!
7 Days a Skeptic is about a bunch of people who are already friends with each other, and the evil sort of drives them apart and then spells their doom by the end. So for Trilby's notes, I wanted to go for a different sort of dynamic. So the dynamic in this one is that there's evil, but you're the only one who seems to be aware of it.
I like that dynamic. That's always been one of my favorites. It's just like the world's going fucking sick and grotesque around you and nobody else seems to notice.
Siobhan. That's how it's spelt, people.
Fucking Ireland. Let's put a Z in there for fun.
Yeah, although we're in Wales at the moment.
Welsh are just as bad. Although there's that place in New Zealand, like some of the Maori names that are just absurdly long.
So, yes. Abed mentioned that Siobhan went to get a drink and mentions his concern that she drinks too much.
So obviously Trilby is off to date raper.
Here's another great combination of text colour with background colour.
Well, at least it's got like a black outline.
So the thing with Siobhan is that she's kind of a good time girl. She likes to drink and flirt.
Another product of the male gaze.
About O'Malley shipping. It's a long shot, but maybe we're in the centre of a conflux of events. Maybe a lot of coincidence is going to be on our side for some reason.
Mystical reasons.
Well, it makes sense because she's a history student and she's researching her family tree.
Yeah, that's fair.
This may sound like an odd question, but did your family run a shipping company in the late 18th century? That is an odd question.
Did your family run an 18th century shipping company? No, I'm just happy to see you.
Well, you have to check your notes, dear. I got notes too. Everyone's got notes.
Is she facing the camera or not? I can't work out. Like,
well, her torso's facing on, but her head's looking towards Trilby.
Alright, it just looks kind of munted and weird.
That's just her sitting pose. We're going to meet her in her room. Oh, yeah.
We're going to get a sex card. Is this like Witcher? Are we allowed to pork everything?
Someone said to me sometime after this game was out that it would have been great if there'd been like a text, like a keyboard shortcut to immediately enter the phrase "open door."
You just got to get quicker at typing. Like the fucking Hugo games got me better at touch typing. Because they had puzzles that were built around being able to type shit fucking quickly.
This is a really dodgy stairwell.
It is ridiculous.
Doesn't even have banisters.
That is some wacky shit.
So all the 3 levels of this hotel are the same room, but with just like the numbers changed.
Mm-hmm.
And since the numbers are a sprite, that's why they're a slightly different colour. Hee hee.
Oh, well.
Oh, didn't even knock. How bold we're being.
Douche. Sup, I'm here.
Must you get right down to business? Pat, Pat, sit down.
This looks like a 4chan green text about to happen.
Funny thing is, this isn't actually what you're thinking of. What you're thinking. She's not actually want to bone us. She's more interested in, like, the DeFoe Manor incident.
Supernatural prowess, that's what she's after.
Yes.
She wants your knowledge.
She wants our knob-ledge.
Knowledge. My brain penis.
Yeah.
Bullshitting,
bullshitting.
Remember the other games and the stuff you just did? It's happening again, but now in words.
Bullshitting, and she doesn't believe us. La 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 la.
Why do you want to talk about the supernatural if you don't fucking believe?
Oops. She mentioned Trilby. So presumably she knows how Trilby dresses.
His trademark hat.
Simone Taylor kept going on about us, apparently. The bitch.
She's all talk, that Simone. And then I stopped listening to her and ignored her cries for help, and now she's dead.
I think that's a little far-fetched. Bruce Wayne is Batman, you say?
Next you'll be saying that Superman is some run-of-the-mill newspaper reporter.
Yeah, Ghost is one thing, but throwing Trilby into it just makes it seem silly. Because Trilby's like a legend as well. He's this legendary, costumed, like, master thief.
Whose costume lets you see his face.
Well, he used to wear the mask.
Oh yeah, that's right, I forgot about that.
Have you always been an antique dealer? Whoops.
I'm sorry, I just had a stroke.
Let me put that another way. Have you ever been an antique dealer? Oh, she's sussed us.
The hat, yeah. Terry Railby.
Yep, she's sussed us out. She's figured it all out. We've come to finish off the ghost. Yeah, she's sort of like got this glamorous idea of the paranormal. And now Trilby's going to emo it up a notch to bring it.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, I can't wait.
Take me with you.
This is scary.
There is nothing glamorous about what I do.
Yeah, silly girl.
I live in shadows that threaten to consume me every single day. I want to... Hey, consuming shadows. I do kind of want to kill myself for that line.
Yeah, I support that. Had you, like, talked to a girl when you wrote this?
Girls. My mum counts, right? Actually, yeah.
Look, he fell over.
Hang on, I'm just gonna save here.
Is that a good idea? Because you're, like, right near the death.
Yeah, but I can just, like, type something.
Oh, so pause when you type. Oh, that's good.
The tall man, stupidly tall and thin, 2 giant hands. Nothing in his face is what he betrayed any emotion. Well, that's because he's got no face. Oh, he's ready for some love.
This is getting... using that typical heterosexual male fear of homosexuality to sort of generate an anxiety response.
We've been penetrated.
Oh, my bits. So no machete killings?
Apparently not. And the idol is now in the possession of one Professor Abed Shahal, whose name consists of the names of the first name and the Christian name of 2 Asian men I knew back in England. Asian meaning Indian Pakistani.
Subcontinent, yes.
In England. That's what Asian usually means. So. Okay. So Professor Shahal is having an antiques show at a hotel in Wales. Well, an island off the coast of Wales.
That a real place?
Well, Anglesey is a real place, but Clanbronwyn Island isn't. It's off the coast of Anglesey. These Clanbronwyn Hotel is in the island centre, surrounded by forest. This won't end poorly.
Miles away from everything. It'll be fine.
And now Trilby's getting his tell don't show on. It's another ministry agent. Well, technically, Trilby works for the Special Talent Project and is currently being seconded to the Ministry of Occultism.
Okay, so there's a Special Talent Project, like a sort of talent recruiter.
Yeah.
Okay, and then they work out whether or not they're going to put you in Muscle Force Gamma or the Ministry of Occultism.
Yeah, the different divisions of the British government basically take you on loan when they need something done that suits your particular talents. It's a sort of like government-sponsored mercenary force, I suppose.
They're the good ones. Muscle Force Gamma.
Like the Avengers.
The British Avengers, for people who...
Yes, another member of the Special Talent Project in my internal canon was Chris Quinn from Age of Evil, who was a demon hunter.
Oh, that's right.
Who was also seconded to the Ministry of Occultism a lot.
There you go, people. Take notes. This is the Yahtzee-verse canon getting fleshed out.
So Lenkman here has apparently been
Peter Lenkman?
Yes.
Sure.
He's been sent to make sure that we're mentally sound because of our history with the DeFoe Wraith. He's like, everyone just feels safer with more boots on the ground.
Well, that actually makes sense.
Yeah, see, it's all making sense so far. And now here's Trilby's genius intellect in action. He's disguising himself by not changing his clothes and going by Terence Railby.
Beats James Bond.
Yeah.
Like, hello, I'm a spy. Give me a drink.
Hello.
Oi, love, give us a kiss.
Here's my full name. I'll say my surname twice so you hear it properly.
It's a big I'm a spy shirt.
And now we've met Professor Chahal, who's wearing a cardigan.
The traditional plumage of the university history professor.
Now Trilby's getting his confidence trickster on. He's exploiting the Mark's absent-mindedness to pretend to be a previous acquaintance.
I'm really glad you pointed that out with that piece of writing there, Yahtzee.
Yes.
That's just... You didn't have much faith in your audience, did you?
I guess I just wanted to write a lot of stuff. Because that's my strength. I write shit.
I could just literally recap the thing that people just watched.
Well, I thought it might be confusing that Trilby's like telling a whole bunch of lies to Chahal at this point, so I wanted the audience to make... Because the audience hasn't seen Trilby in a while, they don't know he's telling lies.
It could all be part of the mysterious Yahtzee-verse canon.
So we're offering him money for artifacts. We're pretending to be a freelance scout for antique collectors.
Do you have any haunted wooden idols?
Just out of interest.
You know, I happened to work for a man who's very interested in haunted wooden idols.
That room wasn't straight through that door. There was a bit of a jump cut.
Oh, okay.
We've gone up some stairs and into his hotel room.
Siobhan. Is that how you pronounce that?
Siobhan. And in retrospect, in a texty-typey game, I probably could have picked a female name that's easier to spell. Siobhan is a traditional Irish name.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Fucking Gaelic.
So, yeah, apparently Chahal gets a lot of interest in DeFoe Manor artifacts because it's a big mystery. It was big news.
Yeah,
in the paranormal rumour-mongering circles. Trilby's going to stare at a wall for a bit.
Of which history professors frequent.
Yep, showing, not telling again. Or telling, not showing again. Sup, mother effers.
Yo!
It's the Ego Review again, and it's the one we've all been waiting for. The continuation of the Chzo Mythos, Trilby's Notes.
Fantastic. This is already pretty dynamic. Where'd you steal this music from?
Yeah, say goodbye to stealing music, my friends. This is an original soundtrack by my good friend Mark Lovegrove. This was my first game I made with an original soundtrack. We will never be hearing stolen music again as we go through my games.
Finally.
Now that above...
Well, good on Mark, because that's some solid, there's a floppy disk, a hat, some music.
You ain't heard nothing yet.
Rad.
This is actually a photograph, the upper wallpaper. I took my old hat, took the badge off it, gathered a load of papers on a desk and took a photo of it. And then I added that little symbol with Photoshop. So let's get started. Tutorial? No, we're hardcore.
Fuck yeah.
Commentary? Yes, but not this one. So yes, our hero Trilby from 5 Days a Stranger returns to the story. He is now a reformed thief turned paranormal detective in the employ of the government.
Uh-huh. What's STP stand for, just in case?
You'll find out.
Okay, I thought it was something I was already meant to know.
So this is the end of 5 days.
This is where we retcon some of that.
Yeah, he seemed very smug and unflapped at the end of 5 days, but now he's all haunted.
He was just acting tough. Like, that's just, you know.
Yeah. So here's what happened to everyone else. Jim was expelled for truancy because no one believed him.
Truant, they'll all cry.
Simone Taylor took to drink.
Fair enough.
And Trilby tried to get back to cat burgling, but it just wasn't the same ever again.
I'd probably think every house was going to trap me again.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what Trilby felt.
If I creep in this window, is it going to shut into another horror dimension full of, like, retarded machete killers?
Well, once you'd been exposed to the supernatural, you would start expecting anything, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Changes you, man.
So, yes, he became so paranoid about the supernatural that he lost his touch and the police caught him.
He just kicked a door down and went, "All right, I'm taking your shit!" They tackled him, and that was the end of the cat burgling career.
There you go, the Special Talent Project. Which was a government...
the League of Extraordinarily Talented Gentlemen.
The League of Extraordinary Talented Gentlemen invented by Yahtzee.
Copyright.
So, yes, the government enlisted Trilby as an agent.
Oh. Kind of like how in Catch Me If You Can, he ends up working for the government.
Well, that was real life, wasn't it? Frank Abagnale. So at this point, we're not actually a paranormal detective. We're just a sort of detective. We've moved on from the paranormal and just working as an agent for the government. At this stage in the narrative. And blah-de-blah-de-blah. Trilby's a wordy sod now that he's narrating the whole game with his notes.
What would you do differently? Like, because I think all of the games you've done so far. Oh, hey, look at that, looking good.
Of course you don't. So now
I understand the word Gabe, though.
Now we move around with keyboard just like a Sierra SCI game.
Was there a
icon at the top left means that input is now available.
Okay, so why did you jump to keyboard input?
Because I just felt like it. I wanted to make a text parser game. Because the thing about a text parser game is that you can't brute force puzzles by just using all your inventory on everything.
So that was what I wasn't, being snide. I was legitimately curious. There you go. Can't brute force puzzles. Interesting.
Yeah. And this is better for a more sort of investigative style of game, I suppose. We'll see that later when we get to like the conversations, which I think is where the system fell flat a bit for some people, but I think they just weren't playing it right.
You just don't get it. You just don't understand art.
Okay, that's not
Stupids.
Simone. We're come to see Simone because we're concerned about her well-being after she took to the bottle and disappeared from our television screens.
It's a shame she didn't take to the bottle and stay on TV. That's always fun to watch.
Oh, there's no reply.
Kick door.
Kick door?
Okay. Pick lock.
Hang on, I think I have to knock door again. Yes.
Now
right. Trilby is reassured that it's time to go back to the old instincts.
You can take the man out of the cat burglary, but you can't take the cat burglary out of the man.
He's worried she might be in trouble, and even if she isn't, he's only playing to his reputation to just be sitting in someone's house when they walk in.
I've been waiting for you. Jesus, shit. I can do that.
Yeah, it's the old Batman trick. And then they turn around to look at something, and then when they turn back around and you're gone.
Runs away and hides. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
You just move around the room and touch the darkness to find things.
This reminds me a little bit of the Hitchhiker's Guide adventure game when it just plonks you in that area where it won't tell you what's going on and you have to taste the liquid in front of you.
No, I think you have to smell, right? You have to smell the thing in front of you?
No, it's liquid because it's wine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have to taste liquid. It's champagne. You're at a party. And then the game decides to tell you where you are and what's going on.
Oh, we found a window blind.
Ah. Fantastic. Oh,
Well.
that's that visibility. Up. Oh.
I made this intro for my original idea for 7 Days of Skeptics set in the office building. But
That
then
looks really good. Like, this little scene, I think.
Yeah, this scene was always good, that's why I reused it, but the rest of that game was shite. So I abandoned it.
Ah.
The original 7 Days of Skeptic that wasn't in space.
Oh, yeah. I love how you went straight to Jason X, like, for your second one.
Well,
Fuck it, straight to space.
That's the beauty of auteur game development, I suppose.
Yeah. I like auteur, just stuff in general. Just strap yourself in and enjoy somebody else's insane ride.
So Simone's been murdered. And the Ministry of Occultism, or MOO, have confirmed supernatural activity about the apartment.
I work for the Department of Moo.
And we've been assigned to investigate if there is a connection to the DeFoe Manor incident, which is how the 5 days is now known in the files. And now Trilby's shit scared.
He's so sad.
So looters stole the wooden idol. The wooden idol was not destroyed in the fire. Stupid
Fire
Trilby.
can't burn wood, you fucking moron.
I guess it was very, very varnished wood.
Yeah.
Or it fell under a tureen or something.
Had its own little magical force field.
But weirdly, there's been no strange paranormal events connected to the idol so far.